to the show. I'm just gonna merge them all together. You are live. Okay, let me give you guys the new link real quick. Don't go anywhere. And okay. Let me keep that one.
All right. Dustin and I are back.
Yeah, that was cool.
Crazy mom.
Got all three of
And
us.
I want to do this. David's still in the other stream. Go ahead and go click on the link that Zeke sent you, David.
Here comes Yo Baby.
Okay, where did he send it to?
Probably your email or your phone or wherever he sent you the link for this one.
Facebook.
Oh, all right. 1 second here.
Here, let me see if I can't help remove.
There's Crazy Girl.
Hey, Crazy Girl.
We're back.
Yo,
All
baby
right.
blondie.
Hold on, we're getting everybody
You better
back.
freaking
Sorry about this
smile.
technical.
I
leave
miss
it
you,
to
and
our
you better
channel.
freaking-
Have a
you
mess
better
up.
smile.
Never does it.
I miss you too, crazy girl.
Show me them pearly whites of yours.
APR wouldn't be us if we didn't screw up once in a while.
Hey Zeke,
Look,
he's still.
That's right.
I'm trying to help him get out. He's still in there. Can you tell? Send him. Yes, he.
Yeah. Hold on.
Um,
I messaged him the new one.
Okay, I got the other link coming up.
Yeah, we're still in the old one here. Everyone's already over on the new one. I told Zeke to.
Okay.
So you should be getting it. Look for your other message. I want to go ahead and boot you back out of this one, and I want to leave the studio so to close it down. And all right, cool.
Okay.
All right, he got my new one.
All right, then I'm gonna come back up under the new one so I can get out of here. Oh, I'm so
Someone
sorry,
just popped
Zeke.
in the basement. 2 people popped up in the basement.
Bethany may be
I'll
there.
get him. I'll get him.
I got 1. Well, I did.
Okay, we must have done
There
it at the same
comes
time.
David.
Oh, poo. Oh.
Oh.
We're playing
All right.
musical
Everybody's doing it
chairs here.
together.
All right, that was interesting. We can go ahead and mute our mics again, and we'll wait. We're getting 7 people back in, so they'll trickle back. Molly's back, Clarissa's back, Baked with Miss Red is back, Lori's back, Vickie's back. Oh crap!
Vickie needs
I'm
a
sorry,
link.
Vickie. Can't
Hi,
leave Vickie out.
Clarissa. Hi, Molly. Hi, Lori. Hi, Baked with Miss Red. Woohoo! Hi,
Walking
Vic.
away, my mic was muted.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
All right.
Lots of names.
Here we go.
Where's Vickie?
PPR. You didn't send
And
you didn't
there's
send our
Bethany.
jelly sister
So
Vicky the
I'll
link.
let your baby do comments, then highlight them for Zeke and for David, so they can finish this up. And
Dusty.
when they get everybody in here again.
Yeah, we'll take any questions for David.
Ooh, I sure like this setup, PPR.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, oh, who's this? Oh, Beth.
Bethany.
No, Vicky.
I already got Vickie. Okay, I'll get Vickie.
There we go.
Okay. Well,
Who's Clark Horror too? That's not Vickie, is
there we
it?
go.
No, that's Beth.
That's
That's
Beth.
Zeke's fiance.
Oh, hi, Beth.
Hi.
Changed her word, so I didn't know who it was. I miss
Here's
Vickie.
Nikki.
All right.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
David. I think when I left a while ago, I messed up your live, and I'm so sorry. My phone was going berserk, my old phone.
No worries.
Mrs.
I've done this before.
Boone.
It happens.
Mrs.
Mrs.
Boone is from
Boone.
the True Crime Committee from Dago's end.
Awesome.
So
Cool.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna go ahead and let's mute our mics so those two can jibber jabber and while people come back in. Miss Boone is new for the stream tonight in Illinois Bigfoot. So the floor is yours again, Zeke and David.
All right. So we have recovered from our technical
Cool.
difficulties, and what I was telling David is don't ever think that Dustin and I'll ever talk you out of doing anything stupid. We will actually do the opposite. We will encourage it. So if you're like
Yes.
kind of like what Bethany does with me sometimes, she's like, I'm so mad at this person, like I want to burn their house down. I'm like, all right, well, I'll go get the matches and the gasoline. What time you want to meet up?
Yeah.
So you will not get talked out of anything here. So
And authors, we need to do that to one another now and then. We need to challenge each other. And
yeah,
there's a British saying that some of my friends taught me is shy babies don't get treats. And so it's like, okay, so that makes sense. I understand that a little bit more, but when you get to a certain point in your writing, like I was at this point, it's like, do I want to take that? Do I want to do this? Do I want to take that next step? It's been good, and I'm glad that you guys are encouraging me in that, because I know there's going to be a lot of blowback. And honestly, at this point in my life, I've gotten to the point where I have no fucks left to give.
yeah,
It's going to be like, okay, bring it. It's going to cause issues. It's going to cause people to have questions. It's going to have people question me, which, what I've been through in my past, I've had people question me a lot. Why do you want to be a writer? Why do you want to date that girl? Yeah. Why are you doing that? Why are you being a teacher? You know, it's it's going to bring that up again, and it's like, fine, bring it. I don't care at this point.
Yeah.
It needed to be done. It needed to be said. Somebody needed to take a stick and poke it and spin it around in that hornet's nest and see what happens. Yeah, it's there's enough in it. There's enough involved in it that it's going to happen, and I'm fine with that, because at least there's a discussion at that point. At least there's some kind of discussion.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's honest discussion, that's a good thing. If it's bigoted, hypocritical, ignorant discussion, I don't have time for you. You know, that's the thing. So that's how it kind of works. And that's a very, I've got a couple good buddies that way. Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty much this channel. We'll all be there together.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's how Zeke and I roll.
Yeah. And I've got friends through the years the same way. We're there for one another. But back to the talking about this particular case, one of the big things that sets me off is the hypocrisy of different groups of people. Let's say, when you can preach one thing from the pulpit on a Sunday, and then on a Monday turn around and crucify somebody for something that you're supposed to be for peace and love, and you're supposed to be supporting people that don't have the support. You're supposed to be feeding the hungry. You're supposed to be clothing the homeless. But at the same time, you'd rather sit up in the pulpit and preach and not do any of this stuff. I get tired of the hypocrisy, and this is one of my ways of calling it out. And it's a big call out. It really is. You know, you've read it, Zeke. You've read the book. It's a big call out.
Yeah.
And it's going to step on some toes, and I'm perfectly fine with that. The discussion needs to be had. I've noticed in the last few years it going farther and farther and farther to the narrow-mindedness and violence, flat out violence, at times in some of these subjects. And for one thing, that's not part of my faith. Yeah. For another thing, it's not any way near what I was raised. And in regards to the overall condition of this planet, ecologically wise, I'm a biologist as well as a historian. I got a biology minor. I can see it. I don't have to have a doctorate degree to see the problems that are out there. Yeah. What we have done to things, you know, that what will happen if we dismantle the EPA. I mean, come on, you know, that's ridiculous. I mean, we've seen the train crash in Ohio burn for how many days and put what in the ground? You know, you want to go back to that? You want to make it worse? Come on, you know. So I feel that I called a lot of people out on a lot of different levels, and I'm hoping that it does piss some people off, and hoping it does shake them up a little bit on a lot of different areas. So that's kind of where I'm at this point.
Good, man. Me too. That's one of the reasons we call this show Southern Discomfort.
Yes. Yep. Good way to look at it. And yeah, and you know, and I'm from rural Midwest. You know, the rural Midwest and the South have a lot of things in common, with the exception of grits. We don't do grits up north. But mindset wise,
shrimp and grits. That's where it's at.
But you probably don't have lutefisk, so you know, there you go.
No.
So, but mindset wise, culture wise, you know, I grew up rural Illinois, hunting and fishing, and I'm a river rat. You know, I grew up in the rivers and the woods and the fields as much as anybody else. So a lot of the mindset is the same. And one thing I've noticed in the last few years is the minds of so many of my friends that I grew up with getting narrower and narrower and narrower. And a lot of that being endorsed in the pulpit, which is not how my church was when I was growing up. That's not how I came up. It's not, you know, and we were open to scientific ideas, scientific theories, scientific facts, you know, and that's changed dramatically. just in my lifetime, just in your and I's lifetime, it's changed dramatically. And so, yeah, Southern discomfort or Midwest discomfort, whichever you want to call it, it's going to poke some people in the eye. So we shall see where it goes.
Well, I'm excited for you, man. I'm excited to see where this book goes for you.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate it.
Open some doors up.
Yeah.
But yeah, we will be pushing it. I'll be promoting it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and
Hey, I appreciate that, man. I do.
for you as well, buddy. So
Yeah.
anything I can do to help. And does anybody else have any questions for David before we wrap up this portion?
Questions, comments, ideas? Yes. Go for it.
What got you started
Sure.
in the paranormal?
In the paranormal?
Uh-huh.
The investigation wise, it kind of started from my parents living in the extremely active house that they did to opening myself up that way, to understanding that, yeah, there's some really weird stuff going on. I didn't get into it deeply until a few years after that. And I had a publisher approach me for a book on ghost stories. And so I started archival work first, got into that, and then I found a local group that was doing investigations, and I got involved with them. And so we worked in the Midwest region for quite a while. Excuse me, doing investigations there. And so it's kind of a slow transition from just being interested in it to actually doing more professional investigations.
So with those ghost stories, is that what got you interested in writing your own stories?
You mean as for like writing my own horror books?
Yeah.
I'd always been a writer. The writing, I started out as a reporter and worked as a reporter for 5 or 6 years. And then you can only cover the high school football game so many times before you're bonkers. And so I started writing short stories, and the short stories led into longer pieces and of different sorts. So the ghost stories and the paranormal stuff kind of dovetailed nicely in with the writing that I was doing. And so I wrote the ghost stories. I had 2 books of ghost stories come out. I started my own publishing house that published horror works and dark science fiction work and dark fiction works. And so they kind of dovetailed together at the same time, but it wasn't that one inspired the other. It's just they merged very nicely. So.
And how did you and Zeke meet? I'm sorry. Go ahead, baby.
Go ahead. Go ahead and finish. That's all right. Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
How did you and Zeke meet? Did y'all meet at an author convention or?
We
met through a publishing house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Through Stitch Smile.
Yeah. We both had some stuff going through Stitch Smile, and we communicated that way and hit it off. We got an awful lot in common and hit it off that way, and just been kind of building and working together. I've hooked him up a couple times. He's hooked me up a couple times, and it's been a good professional relationship that way. So, and a good friendship that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
Okay, so my question is, a couple of them actually.
Yes.
Like, how long
Sure.
have you been writing, and how many books do you have out there? Have you written?
Okay, you would make me go back and think that. We'll define this as professionally versus non-professionally. I started working as a reporter in 92 and did reporting work from 92 to 98, and then I freelanced nonfiction up until about 2005. I think 2005 was the last time I had a nonfiction piece published. Story-wise, fiction-wise, I started hacking at the keyboard around 1988, 1989. nothing was good. When you start out as a writer, nothing is good. Believe me. Zeke knows. I wrote and threw away probably 5 novel manuscripts before I thought I had anything that was worth shopping around. So number 6 manuscript I shopped around, never found a home for. So stuff that I have not released and have not been published, it was probably 7 manuscripts that I had before anything got picked up. And of those 7, 5 of them I tossed and I never want to see again, because as you write, you learn. You as Zeke knows, as you write, you learn. In the early stuff, if you stop seeing your evolution as a writer, you need to step back, challenge yourself, and move forward, because all writers evolve. I don't care who it is, they all evolve. That being said, once you find your voice and your style, you can write much better because you've got your voice and your style. But it takes a while to find that. It took me about 4 published books before I actually was secure in my voice and my style.
Okay.
As for how many I've got out there, you'd actually have to do an Amazon search to see how many I have still in print.
Okay.
Still in print right now, I've probably got a half a dozen. I've got others that have gone out of print and you can't get anymore, simply because the publishing world is strange and the publishing world is harsh and can be a very difficult mistress to deal with, in that if you have a book and you lose a publisher, somebody may not want to pick it up. And that's been the case with several of my books. It isn't that they're bad. It isn't that they're terrible. It's that the publisher that had the book decided they no longer wanted to carry it. And the publishers that were out there said, no, it's already been in the market too long. And we don't think we can find a market for it if we pick it up. So, thank you for the offer, but no, thank you. And that happens more commonly than people think. I've got a good friend out here in Washington that she's a New York Times bestseller, and she has been on the top 10, top 5, number 1 list times. And right now she can't find an agent or a publisher because it's a tough market, and the market is razor thin for profits. And if a publisher doesn't think they can turn a profit, they're not going to pick you up. And that's what happened to her. She's gotten to the point her series has done very well, but it's a point where now the market's crowded and it's a tough sell. And so she's basically rebooting her writing. She's starting over with an entirely new genre. And so it's a finicky business. It really is. So but yeah, if you do like an Amazon or Google search, there's about a half a dozen books out there that you can find of mine. So long way around the answer.
Hands up.
So, yes.
I got a question for both you and Zeke. Will we get lucky enough to ever get to see you two maybe collab on a even if it's a short story together? And then part 2 of this, what would it take to be able to meet you? Because I would like to officially invite you down with Zeke to do a lay-in with the dead session. And it's known for pushing the boundaries and pushing the limits, and also give you VIP of Fort Duffield. So the first part of the question, will you and Zeke ever collab together and maybe like a little short story or something?
Yeah, we've talked about it.
We've talked about it.
I think
the idea is I think the idea is really good. It's just we both kind of bonker nuts in our writing right now.
All right. And I think Mom had a question for you too.
I think it's coming.
Spotted ghost.
Hi, Spotted.
Spotted ghost.
Oh,
Mhm.
Hello.
David, meet Spotted
Yes.
Ghost. Zeke last week, he used Spotted Ghost app. He has a bunch of apps. His
Mhm.
links
Oh,
are in the
cool.
description too if you want to check them out. But
Oh, for
Zeke
sure.
had
Yeah.
some excellent results with his apps, and
Nice.
other people have too.
Yep.
So,
Cool.
and
Hey,
Spotted
Spotted
Ghost, this is Zeke's friend David.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hi, Spotted Ghost. Interesting. Good to have you with us.
You said somebody else had a question,
Yeah, I think Mom did.
Mom.
No, I don't. If I did, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I have another one. Did you always?
Yeah.
I mean, did you like start out doing horror, or did you do something else before, or
Mm,
on
you know
your
what? That's a
writing?
tough question because the three main genres I wrote in was horror, science fiction, and fantasy,
Oh,
and
okay.
I switched back and forth. And
Okay.
I don't write.
What?
How do I word this? The only
No
true, the
romance
only
novels, huh?
no, no, I don't dare try that. I really don't. The the I write in a wide variety, and the thing is that some people's definition of horror is different than other people's definition of horror. Some people only believe that horror is horror if it's there's some kind of spiritual element to it, whether it's vampires, um, the occult, something like that.
Right.
That's some people's definition. Then you have people who do like in my case, I've written a whole series of zombie books. So I did some zombie genre work. The other people do like splatter punk. It's a really weird, wide open genre these days. But I didn't start out as that. I always mixed it up. I've done a little true crime, that kind of thing. So
Okay.
Hey,
it's
Dave,
it's
what? Go ahead. Sorry.
dark is the best description of what I've written. So
I got you.
Can,
yes, there's the
Can
one that
you hear
says,
me?
"What areas do I travel to?" Is that for me? Must be.
Yep.
Used to travel all over the Midwest. When I lived in Illinois, we traveled Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, Iowa. But out here in Washington, I haven't made the connections. There's a few groups out here that do research, but not many. And it's a young state, really. So there's not a lot. I've looked for ghost stories. I've looked for investigators out here in Washington, and there's just not that much. But yeah, when I was in the Midwest, it was those 4 or 5 states that we worked out of.
Okay.
hey, Dave, what inspired you to be a ghost hunter, like the paranormal? Did you hear me?
Me or Zeke?
You,
You,
David.
Dave.
I think so. Me. Okay.
Yep.
I had questions. I wanted answers to. Primarily, what is beyond death? What is
Okay,
what is
yeah.
beyond? What is beyond the shadow? What is beyond the veil? And that was what I set out to find. That's what I set out to discover. That's what I set out to find. We've all got answers. We all question things in our life. Those that are Christian come to a point where we question our faith at times. And there are times that we're not finding the answers in our faith that we want to find. And I was kind of at that point where it's like, okay, there's got to be something else going on. What? And the narrow definition of the afterlife, especially in evangelical realms, is extremely confining. And so I wanted to know what else was out there, and those were the primary things that I went after. And I had a lot of people in the church that busted my chops for doing it because, like Zeke said, the Protestants' definition of ghosts it's all demonic. And I found out through investigations that's not the case. Yes, you do run across demonic entities now and then. In those cases, I'm outgunned. Those were cases that I would call a priest or call somebody that's got a lot more experience than myself and put them onto the case, and I would back out of it.
Gotcha.
But it was basically me seeking. So that was kind of my inspiration, I guess you could say.
Well, that was pretty cool. I mean, I would have never thought of it that way, you know. But yeah, you're curious and you do. I'm really curious about it, you know. I've not been doing it very long, but I'm really, really into that.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
It's very interesting, and to me, I got a lot of answers. I got the answers that I wanted. And if you're open and you learn a lot, but you also have to know where to set your boundaries at. And you have to know when you're outgunned and you need help. And you have to not be too proud.
Back out of there.
Yeah. And there were several practices I learned over the time doing it. As I was leaving, time is not the same on the other side of the veil as it is here. And distance doesn't really make a difference. If you get a entity that you don't want attached to you, you don't want to give it a challenge, because it will find a way to manifest itself. One thing that I started doing as I got towards the end of my ambition career, I would make the announcement at the end of the night that, you know, whoever's here does not have permission to come home with me. You are not allowed. You're not welcome. You stay here. You're not coming home with me. I make it basically a statement like that, saying, "You are not coming home with me. I do not want you to come with me." And that was something I just started doing. I also go back to my statement earlier that Catholics know a few things, and I have been able to shut down non-human entities. And like I said, I was raised Baptist First Christian. But if you cross yourself in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost, and you forbid this spirit to do whatever, to continue to threaten you or to continue to come at you, it will stop it. And I was shocked. I did it the first time I did it just out of like, okay, this is getting out of hand. And I gave it a shot. I grew up, I was the only Protestant in a Catholic neighborhood. So I probably know as much about the Catholic faith as what my buddies did who were out drinking at the time. But in saying that, it was a reflexive action. It's like, okay, nothing else is working. I fell back on that, even though I wasn't raised Catholic, but it was with faith, and it was with faith, and it worked. And so I found that worked. And after that, I only used it a couple other times. But it was at some pretty intense situations that I did use that, and it did work. And when I did talk to the priest about the situation I was having, I told him about it. He said, "Yeah," I said, "That's one reason that we use that. That's what it's for." I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." I said, "I figured I needed to be a priest." He's like, "No, it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that you need to be a priest to do that." I'm like, "Okay, cool, thanks, Father." You know,
right.
Here's
PPR. Did you check that video out that I put up this today? When you were when we were talking and we heard them voices.
I'm having a brain fart.
I think your baby looked at it. Your baby, are you still here?
Yeah, I saw it and I heard exactly what it said.
Ain't
So
that
what is
crazy?
Now, here's a question for David. I'm going to throw you a curveball because I'm like Zeke. I'm more on the demented, dark, let's get crazy side of things.
Okay.
So, what is your most craziest investigation where you've kind of maybe you shouldn't have pushed the boundaries, but you did that like really freak you out? Or are you like Zeke and I and you don't really get freaked out? You actually, it's like a adrenaline rush and you have one of those moments you can share.
I think I split the difference in that. I have found I found limits that I don't want to cross because then I know I'm out of my element. I did have an investigation. We were checking out a place that was a hotel for Irish immigrants at one point.
Oh, wow.
And unwed mothers and that kind of thing. It had the place had a dark history, and there was a reputation that there was one of the former owners of this place was a very nasty guy. And we were doing an investigation. It was 2 levels. It was set up as an old school hotel where the top level was the rooms, the boarding house, and then down below was the business. And we're at the top of the stairs. We've been challenging this guy all night to manifest himself, and nothing. And we got upstairs, and I stopped at the top of the stairs. And just as I stopped up there, we challenged him again to manifest himself, basically calling him out. And somebody shoved me dead center in my chest. And I went back a step and I grabbed the rail. And that's the only way I kept from going down 2 flights of stairs. It's like, okay. And there was nobody standing around me. I was the only one standing at the top of the stairs.
Wow.
Okay. I know better than to challenge somebody when I'm standing in a situation like that.
Cool.
So. Yeah,
Well, I appreciate you sharing. I've always got to ask that because being who I am, I'd love to see if there's anyone else that does the same thing because I know it's. I put disclaimers in my videos, telling people not to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Dustin got shoved one time.
I've seen a few shows.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
yeah?
David.
Yeah.
No, that's all right. I don't want to be the only one talking, man.
No, you're fine. We're all cool up here. No, I took Zeke and Beth to the evil tunnel, and we didn't get to finish or do much there because for their safety, especially if it was just me and Zeke, I would have went ahead and stayed. But for Beth, I care about people and to keep her safe because a pack of coyotes was headed our way. But the evil tunnel, I was live on TikTok back when I did TikTok under PPR, and hundreds of viewers doing a session, and you could see the equipment on the ground across the tunnel against the other wall. And I had my camera and all my gear in my hands, my flashlight. Well, the K2 meter started pinging red out of nowhere like a Christmas tree. At the same time, everyone watching the live stream could literally see the hair on my arms and my goosebumps stand straight up at the same time. And within a blink of an eye, I got lifted 1.5 feet up off the ground and shoved up against the wall in the tunnel. Yeah.
I'd been out.
Yeah.
I'd been gone.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah, I'm gonna be taking Zeke back to that tunnel when he comes back around again.
Oh yeah.
Now, is that the one that goes from the sanitarium down to the river? Am I thinking of the right place?
No, this is right by Fort Knox. It's a small little forgotten park, and what it is, is a bunch of idiots would go down there and do rituals, and underneath all the dirt, they spray painted a ritualistic pentagram. Some satanic cults did, and all they did was cover it with dirt, so it's still there. The portal's still open. Yeah.
People don't take things seriously enough to realize when they're screwing up and how badly they're screwing up.
Exactly.
And that causes more trouble than what people realize.
Yeah.
So I've had a few situations like that too, where people were jacking around and started something they didn't realize they started. Okay. And I'll go in and confirm it. Like, yep, okay, no problem. Next step is to call somebody in here to clean it out for you. So people are dumb.
And Mom, were you? I'm sorry, I think I interrupted Mom actually, but were you done with your story or your thing for David?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't interrupt or stepped on your toes.
No. He answered it, and he answered it good too.
Okay, good.
Now, Zeke,
Yes.
what inspired you to do what you're doing? It's not like you're born with this, you know.
Yeah.
I'm curious on what inspires people.
I've always,
We lost Vicky.
growing up, been a huge fan of horror movies, especially ghost stories and demonic stories. They always fascinated me. And as I got into ministry and pastoring and went through getting all my theology degrees, I started noticing a huge overlap between horror and biblical doctrines. You've got light versus darkness, good versus evil. You've got the human condition, the supernatural and the paranormal, life after death. And so I began to correlate those themes, and really for me as a Christian and as a pastor, jumping into writing horror was an easy transition because I deal with those themes in ministry all my life. Now the investigation part that happened through dealing with demonic entities and from being a pastor, having done some exorcisms, having done house cleansing, having prayed with people who were oppressed or under curses and stuff like that. And that began to really develop my interest in the paranormal. And I was raised in the atmosphere that all ghosts were demons. And I began to really study and look at that and study scripture and also research and study the paranormal and parapsychology, and came to totally different conclusions than what I was raised in, and kind of broke away from evangelicalism in that sense because of their stance on that and because of their anti-science stance on a lot of things. So for me, it's kind of a twofold story. I have one aspect of it that led me into the horror writing from my pastoring days, but also from my pastoring days and dealing with demonic entities that spurred me on into researching and getting involved in the paranormal and investigations and parapsychology and psychic phenomenon and stuff like that. So really, for me, all of this was birthed out of my experience in ministry. So that's kind of how I got into it.
Well, that's cool because you know what? I'm a little bit like you because I love horror movies, paranormal movies. I've been watching them for years. I don't watch nothing, and you can ask Crazy Girl, anyone you talk to. That's the only thing I watch. And I am like you guys. I'm curious, not so much about what's out there, because I pretty much know. It's just I don't want to summon the wrong demon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The
Right.
wrong spirit or something. That's what scares me about the whole deal when we go out. And being attached to you, that's what I worry about.
Yeah. Well, you have to be careful with that, especially, and like I said, the people that get on my nerves are the ones that challenge these spirits without thinking there's anything to it, and they don't realize that, again, time and distance are two different things on this side versus the other side, and they can follow you home and hit you from a distance.
Yeah.
And you don't want to piss them off. You don't want to provoke them.
Because they have ways of making your life quite miserable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to provoke them.
No. And what I appreciate about Zeke's story is that as a pastor, he was open-minded to these kind of things, where too many pastors these days, especially, just the mind slams shut, and it's all doctrine, and it doesn't allow for the examination of anything outside of that. And I appreciate the fact that you allowed yourself to open your mind to that and pursue it and study it.
Yeah.
That restores some of my faith in
I agree with you on that, David, because until Zeke came along, especially for YouTube and social media, a lot of the things that I'm into and the knowledge I have and the studying that I've done and what I do, I've kept secret, because it's you're looked down upon. Oh, you're a Satanist, you're a devil worshiper, you're this. And he's the first one that basically embraced me, like under the wing, and like, it's okay, me too, and it's like, oh wow, he's so humble and what, like you said, what he's done, and he's very inspirational when it comes to that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm glad I can inspire some good stuff and not just stupidity.
Well, I like all of it here.
Go do it, Dustin.
Yeah, and I do it too.
Everybody's pretty cool, because if we talk like this out here to these outsiders here, they'd look at you like you're nuts. Oh my God.
Yeah.
They're seeing things. They're nuts. You know how people talk?
Yeah. And Vickie wants to Bible thump my head every time.
Oh, Vickie.
We lost Vickie. I hope she's okay.
Oh,
I think we lost Crazy Girl too.
Oh,
She's having trouble.
Probably internet again.
And before I forget, I do want to thank Zeke for inviting David up, because David, you're pretty cool, and
that's pretty cool.
Just to give you some good positive feedback, the live stream before this had a lot of good views. There was a lot of people interacting and interested in you. So just to let you know, and you're welcome to come up anytime that you want.
Yeah, I hope you do come
whether
back.
it's a Monday or if Zeke wants to bring me back again,
Keep me in mind, touch base. I'm more than willing to come back. I've been doing this, promoting my books and talking to folks. I've done live radio, I've done podcasts. I'm up for it. Give me a shout. I'm good.
All right.
You'll have to come back and tell us some more stories.
All right. Zeke can give you my number too. So that way, if you ever want, I can send you a link for a panel. Yeah. Or if you just want to come up and be like, hey, I got some news I'd like to share with a new audience. Hey, we'll do a live stream for you. Get you out there.
Sounds good.
And,
All right.
and David, I want to warn you too. Sometimes we get a little crazy on here, but it's fun.
Yeah.
We have fun.
No problem.
Sometimes we might get off track, and the one that gets off track is this old lady.
Yeah, that happens. Nothing wrong with that.
And Beth has been quiet.
Gotta have fun.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I got another question, and actually it's for Zeke and David, but they're a little different and a little of the same. But for David, which are you more, would you say you were more passionate about, the paranormal or the writing? And then for Zeke, I'll go ahead and tell you yours, so that way maybe you can be thinking about it. Which are you more passionate about, the writing or the paranormal or the preacher aspect part? Okay, David, you can go first.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's how do I explain it? It ebbs and flows. The writing right now is the big passion. In the past, when I was doing the paranormal hot and heavy, that was a huge passion. So it, like I said, it ebbs and flows. I can't say that there's one I love more than the other. Depends on what I'm doing, and also I think the thing for me is what I got out of my investigation was I got a lot of the answers to the questions that I was asking, and so since I've gotten those answered, I'm not as hot and heavy on it as I used to be.
Right.
That being said, if I can find a good crew to work with out here, I wouldn't mind picking it up again from time to time.
Right.
My old crew back in Illinois, we went out. We try to go out at least once a month. Sometimes we made it more than that, depending on our schedules, basically. But yeah, I mean, right now the writing is a real passion. Right now, in the past, the writing took a back seat. So it's
Right.
it's where I'm at in my life, depending on.
Oh, okay. So what
Zeke's
about
turn.
you, Zeke?
I don't see the writing and the paranormal as separate from what I do as a minister. I see it as part of what I do
Right, I understand.
in ministry, because like I talked about, the huge connections between
Right.
horror and the Bible, and the same thing with the paranormal. So for me, the writing and the paranormal are expressions of my own personal faith.
Right.
Now, which one am I more passionate about?
And maybe the word shouldn't be passionate. Maybe it's more, what do you enjoy the most, I guess. I guess that's kind of where I was going with that.
Man, I don't know. They're both so different. Like there's a certain joy and excitement that you have with getting a story or a book accepted by a publisher, and then an even bigger joy when that final product is released.
Right.
Yep.
But there's also an adrenaline rush and a thrill when you're out in the field in the paranormal and doing the research, and you start getting those EMF pings and you start picking up things on EVPs, or you start, seeing things move, or you hear the motion detectors go off and stuff like that. So for me, in doing the writing and in doing the investigations, I am doing something that I have wanted to do for years. And I guess each week is different. Some weeks I'm looking forward to the writing more. Some weeks I'm looking forward to the show more. It just depends. Like, I talked about next week we're going to be going out to a site around here, and I'm going to be doing an investigation. That's all I'm going to be thinking about until next week. That's what I'm excited about. So it just is kind of, I agree with David. It ebbs and flows, and it depends on what I have going on at a certain time. Which one? I mean, they both have my attention, but which one kind of has the upper hand?
Yeah.
It differs week to week.
I just didn't know if there was one that y'all enjoyed more than the other, or I guess the enjoy was more so the word than passion.
Yeah, they're both so they're both so very different.
Yeah, it's a different rush.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, we're just adrenaline junkies seeking our next high.
Yeah.
Whether it's through writing, through a paranormal investigation, just hook me up to some adrenaline.
Yeah.
And just some of us go a little beyond.
Yeah. All right, I'll be in there in a minute.
I come by it honestly. My dad was a drag racer in high school, went in the 82nd Airborne, made 68 jumps in the Airborne.
Whoa.
I come along, I do long distance cross country races on horseback, get into paranormal, build my own street rides. Now my daughter is now in the Navy. She's an air ordnanceman, which means she arms and disarms helicopters all day. She's out. She just came in from being out to sea for 3 weeks. She's on the Eisenhower, and they're going through 15 to 18 foot swells on the Ike, water blown up over the deck. And she's like, it should be scary as hell, but I was such a rush. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Strong blood there.
Yeah.
APPR and everybody. I got company. I need to cut them
All right.
off, but I gotta go.
All right.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Mom.
Thanks for the
Love
great
you all.
questions.
Good
Nice
seeing
talking
you.
That's all right. Come back, David. You're good.
You bet.
Zeke,
Hey, anytime.
listening to us.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Bye.
Now, if I can get off here, I don't know how to get myself off.
All right. I'll help
Okay.
you.
Yeah, just don't
Help
hit
me
that
out
end.
here.
I'll help you.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
she-
don't hit end, Mom.
We don't want to start another stream.
Yeah.
There we go.
Mm.
and now she
So
can
yeah,
just close.
it,
Well, she don't have the manager
adrenaline
mod.
junkies is it.
What was that, David?
All right. I said adrenaline junkies is basically what it comes down to. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I know crazy Lashana wanted to talk to you about something too when it was all done.
Yep.
And I don't know if she can come back up or not, or what's going on, or if you remember the question.
I do remember the question. She asked about is there any way, or how do you go about breaking a hex or a curse that has been put on somebody? And I know different people have different answers. My experience in this, in doing this, because I've done this several times for folks. The first thing is with that person, recognizing there has to be a recognition of what's going on.
Yes.
Finding out why they think that they're cursed.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's ample evidence, the way that I have always dealt with it is we do a double cleansing. We do a cleansing over the home, over any personal objects, even a car, and then also a prayer of cleansing over the person, and pleading through the blood of Jesus and the power of the death and resurrection of Christ to break every curse, break every chain, bring every evil entity into subjection under him. In my experience from my faith tradition and what I have seen, it's that has worked, but it's been very thorough cleansings. Like I said, there's not one thing that we don't leave left undone. Anything that where the person lives or that they have contact with on a daily basis, and also praying over the person themselves, also having the person themselves renounce the curse and asking for the Lord's intervention in their life. So in putting all those aspects together, I've seen that successfully break hexes and curses and oppression, because I kind of categorize those all together, like oppression, a curse, and a hex, because what you're dealing with is somehow this evil entity, this negative energy, this negative spirit, whatever you want to call it, has gotten access to this person, whether it's a hex or oppression or whatever. There's been an open door or something. And so doing those in all of those instances, no matter what it is, I have seen be very successful in helping a person find deliverance and freedom from that. And sometimes it's not a one and done deal, especially if the spirit is a very, very strong one, or the hex and the curse is a very strong one delivered from somebody who's got access to a lot of negative spirits. It can be an ongoing process.
Yep.
At times. I've seen both. I've seen a one and done, and then I've seen one take several instances.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
I have to, yeah.
I appreciate you saying that too. I texted her the time for the timestamp because her friend had to leave. She was in the chat there at the beginning, but I gave her the timestamp so she can listen to what you just said.
Good deal, man.
And I'll add just my little bit of it as well, in going back to the Catholic aspect of it. I'm not Catholic at all, but the person that I did help was Catholic, and she was truly convinced. And when I went to the priest, and he explained to me what it was, and he had a solution in a medallion and rituals that the Catholics practice. Mm-hmm. And so keep in mind that might be a factor, whether they're Catholic, whether they're Protestant, whatever.
Yeah, good point. Absolutely. Very good point. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And despite the little mishap earlier, I looked at the analytics for you. Everything went good on that side of it for the viewers and people getting the information that you know you were given, and
good.
So that part turned out great.
Cool. Excellent. Glad to hear it.
Well, if anybody else, we'll leave it open. If anybody else has any final questions, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to wrap it up on my end.
Sounds good. Any last shots?
I'm looking. We got a few people that just came in, and I'm making sure that maybe they don't have any first. And let's see. I know we lost Lashana, but I told her that you answered her friend's question. Vickie had to pop out. She said, "Thank you for all your information, David. It was a pleasure to meet you too, along with Lashana. That's Crazy Girl. That's
okay.
Crazy Mom. When we say mom, that's her daughter."
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. Nice to meet you all, folks, too. I appreciate it. Appreciate having me on. Nice talking with you.
But I don't see any more questions popping up. They'll probably think of them after the fact.
Usually how it goes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure he'll be back again. So if you got questions, be sure to remember what they are and ask them again next time.
You bet. Always
I've enjoyed it very much. I've enjoyed y'all with all the questions and all the answers, and I appreciate you coming up here, David, with Zeke and Beth, and we thank you so much. We hope that you do come back and return.
Yeah, I'll drag him back on here.
Oh yeah, I've been looking forward to it, guys. I appreciate it.
We'd love to hear some more. So
yeah, right. When Fluffy Fucking Bunnies hits May 1st, we'll put a plug in.
Well, yeah, and make sure, David. Well, Zeke can give you my email and number too if he wants. Or you can send it to him when you do get the book. If you want, like pictures of the book cover or any of the websites showing the description of the book, if you send them to me at least 3 days in advance, I can put together a cool little video show or make it to where we can pop it up for you and you talk about it as you show it. Yeah,
that'd be great. I appreciate that. That'd be perfect.
Yep. And, we do. You heard Dustin, you heard David say about how he wants to go to the sanitarium.
Yes, that's only 25 minutes from me.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. We'll have to make it happen.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah,
it's costly, but we all pitch in, then we can get in there. And then I can take you to a few other locations too.
Kentucky's got a lot. Kentucky has a lot of places. So I
take you to Zeke's favorite place, the Cursed Cemetery.
I love that place, man. We had so much activity there; it was insane.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
That's where I'm actually working on a short film that's going to be all real investigations put into a short film, but
Nice.
it's inspired by the Cursed Cemetery, and it's called Laying with the Dead.
Oh, cool. That's cool.
And Zeke's going to be in it too.
Yeah,
Neat.
make it
That's
happen.
excellent. And I'll talk to some of my old team members, see if we've got any video floating around somewhere. If I've got that basement, if I got that
And
basement footage, I'll shoot it over to you.
Mrs. Boone says, appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem. Glad to be here. Thanks for listening. So I always
Yeah,
worry
man.
I talk too much.
Oh, no.
You're in good company here.
Exactly.
Um,
And like I said, Mondays, I usually go live, and then Tuesdays we set aside for Zeke. And but now that when warmer weather gets here, I'll be doing most of my live streams actually out in the field, kind of like what we do now, but it'll be out in a location. So
yeah,
Nice.
and
Very cool.
and I try to do a little bit of both. I do some teaching, and then have guests on
Yeah.
like you, and then I do some stuff out in the field. So I kind of change it up.
yeah,
Nice. That's
Good-
cool.
good
That's really
variety.
cool. Yeah, for sure. Keeps things interesting. That's for sure.
Well, all right, fellas. I'm gonna hop off
Alrighty.
here and get to bed.
all righty. Thank you so
Yeah, it's
much.
getting late
both
your
of
end of the
you
world.
again.
All right.
All right,
You
thanks,
bet.
David.
Thanks, Daddy. Appreciate
Thanks,
it
Dustin.
having me on.
You're
Take care,
welcome. Thank you.
guys. You bet. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. And you should see a button at the very bottom with a red X that says leave studio. And you can just tap that. There you go. And now, then there was one. And now it's over. I would like to share a little video, music video I put together. Because it's an inspirational one about not giving up. Most of you have already seen it. So if you don't mind to bear with it, I would like to share that with you all. And I hope it inspires some people. But before I do, I want to give a major shout out to the Dream Team. So I'm going to do their video first. And for people showing, the Dream Team is right there. Vickie, Yo Baby, Crazy Girl, Mom, and KK. And and then for the music video part, and if anyone is kind of in a dark place or they're feeling sad or lonely, I hope this lifts your spirits because you are never alone. And I think it turned out pretty good. I've had a lot of good positive feedback. So here we go. I might want to turn your speakers down on your headphones, or the volume down, I should say.
Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high. I step my ground until the day I die. giving in. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? Nowhere to go, so far from home. Is this what giving up feels like? I don't know, I don't know. Tell me, have I lost my mind? So I break these walls and hold my head up high, and I stand my ground until the day I die. As the rain.
And there we go. I hope you all like that I put together right there. And the Dream Team is the inspiration behind this one and the song that I chose, because they are my inspiration. They are my hero. They are what makes PPR PPR. And nothing makes me happier than all of you accepting all of us and all the love that you've shown us. And what program created the hold on. Hey Lady Spell. What was it? And what program created the blue-eyed skull? So cool. The blue-eyed skull. You mean with the blue flame? The avatar that you see now, I did that with app effect, and then added to it but the blue one is a Snapchat filter, the blue fire flame. And the one where I disappear in a cloud of smoke and come back, that's a total different, that's an app that I paid for, program that I have on the phone. So there's like 5 different apps that I use to create effects. One day I'm going to be as good as KK though when it comes to pictures and banners and stuff. Blue flame. Oh, KK. Yep, we're doing great. And I actually need to do something real quick. Crud. I need to put the credits to that song in this one because I use copyright free music, but you gotta give credit where credit's due. And I can do that real quick though while I talk to you. Hopefully you can all hear me still. I'm gonna save my butt here. Oh crap! I forget which is the name. Hold on here. I gotta make sure I put all this in here. I'll get it. I'll get it figured out. I don't know if you guys could still. Can I pull this out so I can still keep an eye on everything? There we go. Lady Spell, thank you for coming in. Anyone that's blue, if you want to drop a few links right now for other people to check you out while I cover my own butt here, please feel free to do so. And Mokiato, come on, I'm trying to do something, buddy boy. Oh, gosh, bless it. You all did awesome, and Yes, KK is. KK and Yo Baby, can you go ahead and talk to everybody for me, please, while I do something real quick? I greatly appreciate it. All right. I'll come over and do it this way because I got to get the info to what I just did. Don't want no copyright strikes, everybody. Make sure you always do things the right way. Stay out of trouble. Okay. Let me pause this so you won't hear it. Let me come down here to show more. Okay. And culture code, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's what I need right there. Is it going to let me? Good. Highlight. Copy. Copy. And come back over here. I always do things the right way. People like KK, I always give credit where credit's due. You know, the channel looking the way it is, she's been revamping it for me. She's worth the money to pay. Reasonable. She can tell you in the comments if she wants the rates, if she would like to. There we go. Save changes. There we go. Now we're good. Now we're good. Now I'm back. I think tonight turned out good. We had a little mishap with the layout of having to restart, but it all worked out good in the end. You all asked great questions. The mods did really good. And let me put some background noise because I don't know if you all have questions, want to ask me anything about the experiences when I was down here with, or when Zeke came and visited, or any questions to me maybe that you might have about the paranormal or my experience. All right, there we go. Let me know if this is too loud for you. Okay, YBB, did you see Vickie's video? Yeah, that was crazy. Got copyright every time. I always post in the description. I'm sorry, Miss Red. Yeah, I found a good site. So far, I haven't had that issue. I actually found them on YouTube, and because I like more of a little bit of a creepy and heavy and type of stuff. You guys didn't reshot Vickie's video or the vid I made for Zeke. I need the vid that for Zeke. The bus, I never got it. It never came through. I couldn't find it. That's why I sent a message earlier today, KK. I couldn't find where it was to be able to screen record it. And Vickie and I held off on that because she said that you're going through, she sent you the video or doing something, and you're going to see what you can't do too. And we're waiting for that so we can put it all together. So next Monday, there'll be another big show on that. Sent on Messenger. KK, way down there. They are only live for. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I see it now. But also doing the other video she was talking to me about. Start recording. I'm actually doing this one now, so it'll be all ready. And you also gotta remember things got chaotic at the beginning, and so a few things that we wanted to touch base on slipped our mind. It wasn't on purpose. See, I just got a message now from Brandon that just now came through. Stupid service. Which he wanted everyone to say hi to. Well, yeah. But, she said that she was sending you the video to do more with. I thought. Because the video, I got it up on YouTube. I got it done as a unlisted until I got everything that you're working on, so I can add to it. Was coming on to tell. Oh, that was probably an accident, Lori. That was probably an accident. Yeah, most definitely. I'm just gonna go through and pull a bunch of wrenches again, and we'll find out. And I think I might know who it possibly could be, which I can do that now. And then pull a couple of wrenches real quick while I'm thinking about it. But yeah, KK, I'll just whenever you get the stuff, make sure that I get those pictures too, so I can add them to the slideshow video. Macchiato, please. What the hell is it going to do? Oh. That's cool, Moon Path. Right now. Because Yo Baby and I were talking earlier, so I already got an idea of who it was, because I think I accidentally made someone else a mod again by accident. Oh, thank you. I'm very much I appreciate it. Okay, it wasn't the person I was thinking of then. This one was an honest mistake. All right. Yeah, that one was an honest mistake. I can tell you that right now. It happens to the best of us when we get tired and sleepy. I've actually banned and blocked people by accident before on other people's live streams, falling asleep with the phone in my hand. But it's that was an accident. Yeah, that was a harmless accident. I'm glad everyone enjoyed the show. I really don't know what to talk about right now. Normally we got everybody up for you all to ask questions to. Hey, Brandon. Hey, do you want to come up for a bit for a spell? Been an interesting night, brother. Where'd you go? Right here. Oops. Ah, don't want to send that. That's what I was sending to someone else there. Oh, is it? Oh, and I just sent you the link. Because your baby's eating and she's got stuff to do, so she's listening. Really cool live. Glad I found your channel and your dream team. Well, thank you, Miss Red. It's the dream team that, you know, I won't lie. Without them, there wouldn't be a PPR. Or PPR wouldn't be what PPR is. I'll say that. I'll say it that way. And then Allie, that's not very ladylike. There we go. Yeah. KK did that too. Despite the mishaps at the beginning of the stream and having to restart, I think it still went okay. We did forget a few things. Vickie had to pop down for family reasons. So that's another reason why we forgot about that part of it. And I didn't have everything that I needed to help make it a lot better presentation. So, oh, that sucks, Brandon. I can show you what I have so far. KK, let me see, did KK send? Is KK still on? If she can email, because I'm on the tablet, if she can email me whatever she's done, we can give a preview for next week. I'll show you. Go to my channel. It's unlisted, so I've got to go to manage videos. And go to let it load. There we go. So let me bring this up. Let me pause it. This is the best I could do with her video because it was in portrait mode instead of landscape mode. So let me come over here to present, share screen. Vickie's investigation for presentation to viewers. Click on that. Click share. Okay, let me get rid of, let me pop that off here real quick. Where is it at? Right there. And
Our device will go with
hold on, let me see. Because I want to make sure this is going to show as big as I can get it. Okay, so if I don't know if that's full screen yet or not. I'm not showing it. No. Unless it's delayed. Hold on. Stop screen share, share window. I'm just going to share window. Well, that's what you get for doing that, Allie. Window. There we go. How is it going to work?
I was talking about how it liked the pretty lights.
Well, it's still not doing it.
And so we are in the middle. What? Take photo. Oh, okay. Was it talking to me, or do y'all got yours out too?
What's going on? This should be full screen. Let's see. I can make it. What am I doing wrong? Okay. Bear with me. This has been a heck of a night. Okay, we'll share entire screen. I'll just do it this way. And then I don't know if that worked or not. Oh, I'm just going to have to run with it.
Okay, well, I guess it was talking to me then. What did it say? It said edge. Guys, got the REM pod over there.
The part that everyone is wanting to see is going to be right here.
In heaven. Aww. I'm sorry.
I think.
So, so anyways, so the music box keep going off. David's basically rigged up like a Faraday cage.
We are watching you.
We're watching you. I would love to see you. Can you stand in front of us so I can take a picture of you?
All right, and that was it.
Would you please stand in front of the music box that you keep making go off? What?
Skeleton.
Well, now how?
Jason.
Stop right there.
That's my brother. That's my brother's name.
There we go. But anyway, next week there'll be more to show, but that was the slow-mo version that everybody wanted to see on the shadow figure. All right. Well, I guess, let me see comments again. That's awesome, Juju. Cool. He doesn't have the hours he needs, so that would be really nice. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, and hey, Grim. I need to either you email me or me email you because I can't figure out this PT, whatever thingy I need to do to broadcast this. I can't even access. I try to watch your streams on your site, and I can't even get into it. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't know. YouTube may not like me showing it, but I don't care. I'll show you what. Macchiato, please. When you've got a puppy, I tell you, no. Right there we go. I got 2,006. Oh, we got 2,631 public watch hours out of 4,000. So there you go, Juju. There's an answer for you. I don't really focus on numbers. I don't even know who's still in here. Let me look and see. Can you believe I'm actually at a loss for what to say? Unless anyone has questions, I mean, I sent him the link if he wants to try. Oh, yeah. Let me do something. I'm going to try and do this for KK because I don't want her to think that we don't care or nothing because we love our KK. Enter studio. Make sure I got this muted for a second. Here, listen to this while I do something real quick.
Why'd you pull the trigger? You won't find the light in the smoke and mirrors. You're screaming my name, but lost in the haze. Baby, tell me, are you entertained? They're saying my name, calling me insane. I'm running like a bullet to the brain, 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 brain,
And that was it. Real quick peek. Now delete it. Delete it and delete it. There we go. And I will be doing pictures. Take a whole bunch of screenshots of the pictures. But there it is. All right, well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and end this then. And I actually have no idea what to even remotely talk about. Come back to comments, getting everything situated. Yep. Good night, everybody. KK, thank you for doing an amazing job as always. And, remember, if you do need any work done, banners, thumbnails, KK is the go-to person that we use because she's amazing. This is some of her wonderful masterpiece right there. And she also did Zekes backgrounds. Where are they at? I got him in here too somewhere. Right there. Oh yeah, you won't be able to see it because but the background with Zeke that you see in the very first part of the video, she did that for him. She is very, very talented. She did the banner for PPR. Very, very talented graphic artist when it comes to doing all this stuff. Come on, get off there. If you need proof that she's good, look at all the thumbnails. All right. Bye, Brandon. And thank you again, KK. Much love. No, you deserve it. I mean, you are the best. I mean, I hope one day I can be that good. I can hold my own, but I can't do half the crap that you do. You're on a whole nother level, sister. Much love to you all. Remember, to everyone, you may be nothing, but to someone, you are everything. Don't ever forget that. To everyone, you may be nothing, but to someone, you are everything. With that said, Juju, Lori, Yo Baby, Jimbo, KK, Brandon, Ms. Red, Crazy Girl, Crazy Mom, Zeke, David, Yo Baby, Lady Spell, anyone else that's still listening, much love to you all. And yeah, we do. Well, Jimbo, but I won't lie. I'm jelly of KK's ability because she rocks it. I'm telling you, she kicks butt. The best of the best. But yeah, and thank you again. See you next Monday and next Tuesday.